think it's just habits are changing, and people spend less time with a printed product. It's interesting because I myself, when I read local newspaper online for 2 or 3 days, and then on the fourth day I pick up the actual newspaper and read it, I'm just amazed at how much I missed and how refreshing it is to actually read the newspaper from cover to cover. Like, oh man, I got so much out of it. But the time that I invested in the two are way different. When I actually sat down to read the newspaper, I found myself lost in it, and I spent a lot of time with it that I may not have had, because now we're in a time where people really compartmentalize how much time they spend with each event. And I spend this much time with email, I spend this much time answering phone calls, and this much time reading. And many times we don't spend as much time reading as we should or as we want to, and as a result, we're basically starving ourselves for information, and it's a choice that people are making today, which is a bad choice. And when they come back to the newspaper and find how much they've missed, you criticize yourself and think, man, I've got to be better about this. But actually, the trend seems to be changing, and people have lost that interest. And so I think that's part of the newspaper's challenge ahead, is to get them back to where they're interested in actually spending some time with it. And so,
and finally, what would you say, just one thought that you would want to leave, your average Texas listener or your average Texas reader, just to tell them about, one thing to reassure them that newspapers aren't going away, that the market here in Texas has some strength. What's the one thing, if somebody came up and asked you on the street, Texas newspapers, what do I need to know about what things are changing? What would be your answer?
Well, I guess what I would answer is just what I hear back from my newspapers. In fact, the chairman of our board of directors wrote me a note the other day and said that what we need to remember is that people in Texas want to read the newspaper, and they want to have the information provided to them in a manner that's credible, that's reliable, that's timely, and it's what we do. It's what we've always done, and because the market's still there, we're going to be there. And just like I mentioned with the small newspapers, that they closed their doors after the market left them. After the community died, then the newspaper died. The newspapers will be the last ones to go, and they're going to stick it out as long as they can. And so if there's a market there with people that want to read the paper and retailers that want to support the paper, then the newspaper is going to be there for a long, long time.